Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com. Welcome to our 2024 ski test. Today we're talking about the Armada Edollo. If you've been living under a rock in the park skiing world for the last literally 20 years, this is Henrik Harlow's ski. I really shouldn't have to say that, but figured I'd throw it out there anyway in case someone's brand new to the sport and doesn't know who Henrik is. Henrik is, in my opinion, the most important park skier of at least the last decade and maybe the last 2 full decades. He has kind of single-handedly changed the sport, and you could say he's changed the sport multiple times in his career. And this is what he chooses for his own ski these days. It's actually been kind of interesting to see how his pro model ski has progressed a little bit over the years. And while overall, from a broad perspective, this is a very simple, kind of basic ski, but there are some interesting elements going on here that I think are really cool to talk about. So to start, we've got a poplar and ash wood core in this ski, so it's actually a pretty darn strong wood core. This is a 180 centimeter length that we have here. The ski itself is 98 underfoot, and yeah, we're over 2,000 grams. So I feel like if somebody looked at Henrik and thought about what kind of ski he would ski, you would be thinking lightweight, soft flexing. We're almost at 2,100 grams here. And the ski itself is it's certainly not the stiffest ski in the world, but there's some good strength to that flex pattern, which makes sense. Henrik goes huge. He still competes. He does a lot of shoots. He needs a ski that will support his landings, and I think that's an interesting contrast to the B-Dog. You know, Phil Casaubon doesn't compete anymore. You don't really see him hitting massive jumps anymore, where Henrik is still doing those kind of super high-level, big park tricks. So I think that flex pattern is super interesting. And then the shape is also, I think, quite interesting. Again, it's pretty straightforward, but then when you start to think about and look at just the little details in this ski, it's fascinating to me. So directional shape, that's probably something that people wouldn't necessarily guess from Henrik's ski. It is 133, 98, 123, so directional in side cut and also directional in rocker profile. So there's longer rocker in the tip than in the tail. Very interesting. Kind of makes sense. You see Henrik doing a lot more nose butter tricks. Yes, he does some tail butter tricks, but I think Henrik has learned that he prefers the stability and the precision of a full cambered tail. And I just think that stuff is super cool. And then look at the amount of camber in this ski. That is crazy. As somebody who stands here and looks at and talks about a lot of skis, this is a lot of camber. So that's giving it a ton of pop and a ton of energy, which again makes sense when you start to think about the way that Henrik skis. He's really good at loading up power in different portions of the ski, whether he's ollieing onto a urban rail or if he's doing a nose butter triple cork 1620 or whatever that trick is. So just very interesting in kind of how this whole ski is put together. And then probably worth taking a look at this mount point. I actually didn't prep myself with the knowledge of exactly where this mount point is, so you can do the old flip it over and check. I'd say that's about 2 centimeters back from true center. So probably another thing that people wouldn't necessarily guess if you're thinking about Henrik. You would probably think he had a purely center-mounted symmetrical ski, but that is not the case. So what does that all mean? Yes, this is a great park ski. Yes, you can take it and do the things that Henrik uses it for, but it's also a pretty darn good, just playful twin tip all mountain ski. And I think that's just super cool that this ski, or maybe Henrik skiing in general, has kind of come full circle to the point where I guarantee you Henrik takes this ski out and just rips some laps as a mostly directional skier and loves it. So I think that's super cool. You can take it and use it as a pure park ski, but you could also take it and use it as a versatile all-mountain ski. Go ski some powder, go ski some trees, go back in the park, go cruise some groomers with your family. There's pretty much limitless options with what you can do with this ski. Also, not really a superlative in any category. You know, that's interesting too. When you build a ski like this that's pretty straightforward and very, very well-rounded, it's not going to be the most agile. There's no early taper in this ski. So if you're like purely looking for a ski for trees, that new ARV 100, if you want a twin tip for trees, I should say, that new ARV 100 might be better. But this ski, I think, finishes a turn with a little bit more power on a groomer. So it's like this give or take situation. And I just love when there are choices among a singular brand that you can really match to your own skiing style and get the right tool for how you like to ski. So that's it. That's the Armada Edollo. I hope we get to see Henrik just crush it in the park for another 10 years. He doesn't seem like he's slowing down. Let's do it, Henrik. Let's go for 3 decades of park skiing dominance. So yeah, this is his ski. Let us know if you have any questions about it, and we will see you out there on the slopes.